You might know people who seem to value one thing at the top of everything else. They might have a core value. And they might have other values, or say they have other values, but those values are only important insofar as that one core value allows it to be. So think of it like this. You've got a core value that is attached to you, and any other value that you have is valuable only if you have that core value. So other values are only important if you maintain this core value. And just like in stocks, this can be a profitable strategy. This can be very helpful. But just like with stocks, I can put all of my resources into my one company, and if it does really well, that's really good for me. On the other hand, it could do poorly for me, because if I lose access to that value, I have no other values to take over. Examples of this might be money. This is the extrinsic value. Family, friends, work, health, all of those are only valuable to me if I have money. I've certainly worked with these kinds of people. Perhaps you have too. Having money becomes their identity. Having the most money of their friend group or their family is important. And their friendships are only important if they can provide for them, for example. And it could be an intrinsic value too, like family. That seems important. It is important. But if that's the sole purpose of your life, and work is only there to support your family, and your friendships are only there if it can be done with your family, and nature's only there if it can be done with your family. These are called pyramidal value systems. It's like a pyramid. And at the top, that's the only thing that's connected to, because if you lose access, if you lose your money, you've got nothing else to take over. If you lose your family, and just like risk management, this could be a bad thing, right? You could lose your family, actually lose them, but it could be good. You could become an empty nester, and now my whole identity was wrapped into being a parent, and now I'm empty nesting, and now I have nothing to take over. So this is a risky strategy. This is an undiversified value system. The opposite is a parallel value system. This is where you have multiple values attached to you. You've got several values that are equal importance, not equally weighted. We're not trying to say here that work should be the same exact importance as family, or that friendships should be the same importance as community. But the point here is that if something happens to one of your values, there are other values there to take over. So if this was family and I become an empty nester, I still have other values that can take over for me, that can help me live a valuable life, a meaningful life, even though I lost access to that family, or at least I lost access to expressing that value in the way that I used to. Or work. If work was important to me and I lose my job, again, that's the negative scenario, or I retire, I still have other values that can take over. And similarly with the extrinsic values like money, if I lose my money, I still have other values like family and friendships that can take over. So a parallel value system is like a diversified basket of values. So in other words, you know the analogy of putting all your eggs in one basket. If you've got one core value and something happens to that value, you are in trouble. You have no other way to express your values. So recognize that there are two different systems, and if you focus on one core value and other values are only important if you're expressing that core value, you're at risk. Now again, just like a concentrated stock position, it could do well. If I have just family as my core value and I'm able to continue expressing family, that does work well. But the risk management piece is what happens if you're unable to express that value. You should have other values to take over, and that's where a parallel value system comes into play. Hey, Derek Hagen here at Money Quotient. If this was interesting to you, if this is something that you want to learn more about, this is the kind of thing that we teach at Money Quotient. We teach financial advisors communication skills, facilitation techniques. We teach them about life planning, And basically it all comes down to Stephen Covey's quote, what good is climbing a ladder if it's leaning against the wrong wall? Or if the ladder you're climbing isn't leaning against the right wall, every step you take just gets you to the wrong place faster. So we help advisors, help clients identify the right wall. So if this is interesting to you, head on over to moneyquotient.com. You can learn about our True Wealth planning process, which is our model of financial life planning, which guides clients through 5 stages and 4 inquiry categories. These are the types of conversations that you have. So please let me know if you want to learn more, moneyquotient.com.